Step into an elite private banking office in Zurich or an unassuming estate in the English countryside, and you will notice a striking paradox. The individual wearing head-to-toe designer logos, driving an exotic sports car, and demanding immediate social validation is almost never the person with the most enduring balance sheet. Behavioral economists have studied this exact pattern for decades. The louder the public display of status, the more fragile the underlying financial foundation tends to be. True capital behaves like dark matter. It possesses immense gravitational pull, yet it emits almost zero visible light. While modern consumer algorithms train us to broadcast every dollar through high depreciation lifestyle upgrades, dynasties that have survived world wars, systemic bank failures, and hyperinflation operate on an entirely different set of psychological blueprints. They understand that visibility is not authority. It is liability. And today, this is Moni Explained. To understand how generational fortunes survive across centuries, you have to look at the invisible mechanics of social signaling. In sociology, this is known as counter-signaling theory. When someone occupies an insecure socioeconomic tier, they overcompensate with visible, high-cost symbols to convince outsiders of their standing. But when capital is dynastic and unassailable, the most powerful signal is a complete refusal to participate in the game. If you're fascinated by how money, psychology, and global power really operate beneath the surface, subscribe to Moni Explained. Leave a like, and share this with someone who values the truth over appearances. Now, let's look closer. The first rule old money follows is the principle of radical discretion. New money treats capital as a megaphone. Old money treats capital as a fortress. In the world of rapid windfalls, the natural impulse is conspicuous consumption. The luxury timepiece, the hyper-curated online presence, and the branded lifestyle. On the surface, it looks like success. Beneath it, consumer data shows that first-generation earners spend a dramatically higher percentage of their liquid net worth on visible positional goods than multi-generational families. Old money systematically prioritizes unobservable capital, private trusts, off-market debt instruments, contiguous agricultural land, and private industrial equity. This is not mere modesty. It is a calculated defense mechanism against litigation, predatory taxation, and public exposure. The second rule is the 50-year dynastic horizon. The average consumer operates on a 30-day cycle dictated by monthly expenses. The corporate executive operates on a 90-day cycle dictated by quarterly performance. Established capital operates across generations. When multi-generational family offices allocate balance sheets, they do not ask what an asset will yield next quarter. They ask how it will hold up through 3 recessionary cycles and 2 generational successions. Think about what that actually costs you if you operate with short-term lens. While modern investors chase speculative volatility to fund instant lifestyle inflation, old money locks into resilient, yield-bearing assets that compound uninterrupted across bloodlines. Here's what almost everyone gets wrong about the third rule: the deliberate engineering of social friction. Modern networking advice tells you to be universally accessible, aggressively responsive, and permanently visible. New money opens every door to maximize inbound attention. Old money builds heavy architectural gates. They rely on private circles, discrete syndicates, and generational intermediaries to filter out noise. To them, an unsolicited interaction is not an opportunity. It is asymmetrical downside risk. By remaining intentionally difficult to access, they protect their most finite assets, cognitive bandwidth and strategic focus. That leads directly to the fourth rule, the practice of conversational understatement. In newly affluent environments, discussions inevitably drift toward valuations, recent exits, and personal acquisitions. But inside established dynasties, discussing the specific cost of an item is considered profound social failure. The numbers tell a completely different story about why this rule exists. To discuss the price of an asset implies that the cost was significant enough for your balance sheet to notice. When capital is structural, financial metrics are treated like personal hygiene, essential to maintain, but tasteless to parade in public. The moment you use your net worth to validate your presence, you reveal that your standing is rented rather than owned. The fifth rule governs the separation of legal ownership from beneficial control. A high-earning professional making millions a year frequently operates with consumer psychology, expanding their personal burn rate to match their gross revenue. But dynastic wealth approaches the balance sheet through legal invisibility. They rarely hold concentrated liquid assets in personal accounts. Instead, they operate through nested holding entities, jurisdictional foundations, and irrevocable discretionary trusts. New money seeks the temporary feeling of owning wealth. Old money seeks the perpetual power of controlling structures while owning nothing on paper. The sixth rule is absolute emotional detachment during macro volatility. When financial markets experience severe liquidity contractions, retail capital panics, mistaking a paper drawdown for an existential threat. Old money views panics as mechanical rebalancing events. Because their living costs are completely decoupled from short-term market valuations, they enter downturns with immense liquidity reserves. They buy premium productive assets from overextended players at steep discounts. That's where the real damage occurs to anyone who leverages their lifestyle on temporary economic highs. The seventh and final rule is the uncompromising ownership of time. Modern corporate status tricks ambitious people into trading 80 hours a week of acute psychological stress for a prestigious title and a luxury vehicle. Old money recognizes that true wealth is not the object on your wrist. It is complete sovereignty over the hours of your day. If your lifestyle demands your constant public performance just to maintain its overhead, you are not financially free. You are simply a highly compensated worker servicing your own ego. The ultimate paradox of modern finance is that almost everything society broadcasts about being wealthy is a marketing funnel designed to keep people consuming. The luxury industry does not exist for the ultra-wealthy. It exists to monetize the insecurity of those attempting to appear wealthy. When you strip away the social theater, the greatest advantage of dynastic capital is psychological independence. The discipline to never play status games with people whose opinions produce no compound interest. True freedom begins the moment you stop financing other people's perception of your life. When you eliminate the tax of external validation, you retain the exact capital and clarity required to build enduring autonomy. Thanks for watching Moni Explained. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.